Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello, fabulous Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to the Kids vs. Adults Weekly News Quiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. All week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend ahead, including, of course, the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for the kids about the week in news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Easy. You ready? Let's do this. Alright kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1. Paris will once again be the centre of world sporting attention from next Wednesday, when which event, always run in parallel with the Olympics, kicks off? Did you say the Paralympics? Well done, you are correct. Question number 2, still on sport, and we heard in the podcast this week how a 68-year-old Swedish man had won which event at the Masters Athletics, a competition for older folk. And I'll give you a hint. It's a sport that requires you to use a long stick to fling yourself over a raised bar. Well done if you said pole vaulting. Question number 3. We also heard in the podcast this week how a man in Mississippi stumbled upon the perfectly preserved tusk of what massive animal that used to roam the earth before the Ice Age. And I'll give you a hint, some of them were woolly. Well done if you said mammoth. Question number 4. We also heard in an episode of this week's Squiz Kids Today podcast that a special kind of moon was shining above the earth in the night sky this week. What sort of moon was it? Yeah, that's right, it was a supermoon. Question number 5. The Logie Awards were held this week in Sydney, recognising the best of Australian television. Which show won the award for Best Children's Program? Was it A, Beep and Mort, B, Play School, or C, Bluey? Yes, of course, it was C, Bluey. Is there anything that dog cannot do? How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? And do you think that's going to be enough to beat the adults? I'm hoping so. All right, adults. Now it's your turn. Let's fire up the old grey matter. Here we go. Question number 1. All eyes were on the Democrats in the United States this week as they staged their national convention, throwing Donald Trump into the shadows. What is the name of Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate? Well done if you said J.D. Vance. Question number 2. The 2 most recent former Democratic presidents spoke at the National Convention in Milwaukee. Who am I talking about? And I don't mean the current Democrat president. Well done, US historians, for those of you who said Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Question number 3. Scientists were this week scratching their heads, wondering how an altar stone from Scotland made it all the way to the site of which ancient monument in the southern English countryside. Yes, of course, the monument is Stonehenge. Question number 4. Which high-profile Hollywood couple decided to call it quits again this week? Yes, one for the pop culture fans. It was Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, otherwise known as Bennifer. Question number 5. Which veteran TV presenter won himself a Gold Logie Award this week? Yeah, it was none other than Larry Emdur. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who has won bragging rights this week? Now, if you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. That's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, August 23. On this day, 33 years ago, the World Wide Web, otherwise known as the Internet, was released for the public to use. Because, yes, kids, there was a time before the Internet. Today is also a special day for these Squiz Kids, celebrating a birthday today and over the coming weekend. And because it's a Friday, let's crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday to Sophie and Rowan from Yass, Jasmine from Coogee, Sherwin from Toorak Gardens, Lucy from Coburg, Patience from Faulkner, Stella from Blackburn South, Alia from Oakley, Layla from Caulfield, Alex from North Avoca, Patrick and Thomas from Bathurst, Evelyn from Herberton, Nate from Tumut, good heavens, so many having birthdays this weekend, Mina from Forest Lake, Adam from Sydney, Isabella from Aspley, Odette from Jerilderie, Chloe from Richmond Lowlands, Des from Tonkumwal, and Charlie, who's listening all the way over there in Boston, Massachusetts. And belated birthday shout-outs also go to Jamal from Bannockburn and Oliver from Atwell. And finally, a shout-out to Pavit and Ajuni from Cherrybrook. I hope you managed to beat your dad today. And also to new Squiz Kids listeners, Lily and Jack from Sherwood. Welcome to the Squiz Kids family. Well, that's all we have time for. I hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget, there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning. And the best bit, they're absolutely free. Just as our other excellent content is free too. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, a Squiz Kids Shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday, and for all the teachers out there, there's the Classroom Companion, our teacher-produced classroom activity sheets, curriculum aligned and tied to the Daily Pod on Mondays, and whose entire back catalogue is now searchable via our website. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all this audio content will magically appear. For now, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you all to get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.